continually went against expert opinion in favor of the pharmaceutical industry, who many people here were collaborating with him with. The fact that somebody like that can't be fired, and he can't install tremendous people like Marty McCary and Jay Bhattacharya and Dr. Oz to start reforming these agencies and put in their people, of course he should do that. That's what people voted for.
It's Callie Means right there. Special government employee for HHS right now. I got 3 minutes here. Let me share the story quick. It ties into 2 things. First, our first caller of the day talked about how he doesn't trust anyone, nor should you. I will bring in Harvard, our conversation from yesterday, and the academic elites, and how it matters to everybody. And scientists. There was a big study a couple years ago that Black Lives Matter grabbed on and ran with that said black babies had significantly lower mortality rates when they were seen by black doctors as opposed to white doctors. And the argument went that therefore we need black doctors, and we need to lower standards in medical schools in order to get more black doctors, and we need to pair up more black patients with black doctors.
Right.
The next level insinuation was that white doctors are racist to black people, and white doctors don't give proper care to black people because of their racism, because of their implicit bias, because of their inherent racism that all white people have. Right? This ties into yesterday, the clip we played of Barack Obama back in 1990, defending one of the top critical race theory professors at Harvard Law School at the time, when Barack Obama was there. All right, so Black Lives Matter loved that study. They took it, they ran with it. They said, look, white people are racist. White doctors are racist to black mothers. And we need more black doctors. So let's do everything it takes to get more black doctors.
I don't think it's ever going to go away. It's usually when I hit my vape,
from Harvard,
I don't feel like it's in my lungs. Just irritation when I hit my vape first time in the morning.
They analyzed the exact data from that study. And they looked at one particular variable, birth weight of the babies. And it turns out that the babies who were most at risk to begin with were sent to see white doctors. And they were born with a worse result, but that's because they were most at risk to begin with. The otherwise healthy babies were more often seen by black doctors, but they had healthy results because they were healthier to begin with. But that resulted in the misleading statistics and therefore misleading conclusions. If you control for low birth rate, then the difference between black babies and black and white doctors became nothing. This inaccurate study, just again to prove, starts at Harvard, starts in academia. This idea, obviously they had an intended goal with this study in the first place, to get out this, to propagate this racist idea, America's racist, okay, right? They started with that idea. That all started at our universities, and it spreads and it spreads and it spreads. That study was cited by Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson in the Harvard affirmative action case as for proof why we need affirmative action to get more black doctors to help black babies. That study was inaccurate. It was wrong. But it made it all the way to the Supreme Court decision. Now, she fortunately was in the minority of the opinion, but still, that's how lies can go. The study was inaccurate, the conclusion was racist. Look how quickly and how far lies can spread. It can all be traced back to our academic elites. Slater, at Breitbart.com, we're about to go have a family meeting.
Yeah, it's supposed to get near 80 degrees tomorrow.
Laundry that was not folded.
Mid-60s today.
Screaming in the homeschool. Got a family meeting that Jack didn't pick up his clothes in the bathroom yesterday. So I told him to pick it up. And of course you have to pick up clothes anyway, but I specifically told him to pick up dinner. So we got Slater family meeting right now. Slater at Breitbart.com. It's everyone on the couch. It's one of those meetings, you know? Slater Radio on Twitter and Instagram. My Slater Breitbart newsletter.
It's official. Newsmax has become a news giant. It's even listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Over 40 million Americans regularly turn to Newsmax for the news they need to know. They're tuning into the Newsmax channel on all major
gas not still almost full from yesterday.
Newsmax 2 on all streaming platforms.
I didn't go anywhere last night.
Newsmax.com for breaking headlines. Millions more have downloaded the free Newsmax app.
Hey guys, if you guys aren't able to chat anymore, just send me a message on Telegram or on my phone. when that goes out like that. I'm fucking chatting with you guys for an hour, and I didn't realize it was disconnected. The way I can report it to Rumble, and they can troubleshoot it. I've got like a pipeline to get things troubleshooted because I'm one of their creators. Even though I don't get hardly any views, because I'm steady and I get over 200 watch hours a month, so that's why they. Yeah, they do. And I pretty much give it right back into buying people premium subs and stuff like that through computer EMS. That's me, right, Eggsy? That's my Canadian VPN. Oh, he's probably hanging out.
Senator Chris Van Hollen on landing in El Salvador on a mission to free Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Yeah, I have a remote computer VPN out of Canada. That's actually my LLC, computer EMS.
Secretary Caroline Levitt blasted Van Hollen for making the trip.
Potentially using taxpayer dollars to demand the release of deported, illegal, alien MS-13 terrorists.
Thomas.
Patty Morin says she finds it hard to fathom the Democrats' preoccupation with the supposed rights of those who entered the U.S. illegally, including criminals like the one who brutalized and murdered her daughter.
EMS stands for Electronic Maintenance Service.
We need to protect our families, our borders, our children.
Patty Morin at yesterday's White House press briefing. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says that defeating autism must be a national priority.
A recent study by Blackstone and a team of other researchers has said that the cost of treating autism in this country by 2035, so within 10 years, will be $1 trillion a year. This is added to already astronomical healthcare costs.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of cool.
Children are autistic. European Central Bank cutting
What are these guys
interest
doing?
rates for the 7th time. Now, Wall Street ahead of this morning's opening bell. Dow futures down 476. Nasdaq
Land not for sale anymore?
points higher.
Did it sell?
One of these stories at townhall.com.
It's like they're taking their sign down or changing it.
A real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I'm Claire from Trinity Debt Management. I'm a counselor, and the reason that I love working for Trinity is because
Yeah, I've had that
one of the hardest problems a family can face, and that's financial
EID
In this day and age, everything
since
is
about, what, 2002?
higher utilities, higher grocery bills, higher fuel, and those credit card interest rates have gone up as well. We can help you with that. We can help you get lower interest rates, lower monthly payments. In just a few minutes, we put together a plan that gets you out of debt and keeps you out of debt. I love my job. It's a great program and a very smart way to find debt relief.
So, mobile grooming station there. It's called the Harry Potter, Pawter, Harry, Hairy, Harry Potter, and the mobile grooming unit. That's cool. That's cool.
The Senate that debate could soon get kicked into overdrive.
Senator Dick Durbin, party's number 2.
It's like an old RV.
will announce in the coming weeks whether he will run for re-election. Many Democrats in Washington or back in Illinois are expecting the 80-year-old to say that he will retire next year at the end of his current term. That decision would have major ramifications inside the Senate Democratic caucus, where the median age is 66 years old. If Durbin, the third oldest in the caucus, hangs up his hat, it will provide an opening to inject new blood into the upper echelons for the first time in a decade. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
on the right here. Guess I'm not going fast enough.
Colleges and universities had their visas revoked or their legal status terminated since mid-March. That's according to an AP review of university statements correspondence with school officials. News and analysis, townhall.com.
I was going to get over after getting by this Amazon truck.
We're going to have an open and honest discussion of the facts. Let's talk about the people. It's common sense. It's principles and policies that work for everybody. I just want to talk about how to fix this country. You know, one of the things that I remember growing up, one of the questions,
Oh, that's cool.
let's call it society, all the different things we learn from our parents, our circle, friends, family.
Nobody had time for that.
Influencers in our lives. How many of you remember this question? Who are your heroes? How many of you remember that question? How many of you at the time, I think it's fair to say, understood the importance of that question? A lot of times you would hear, well, you know, you are who you associate with. Remember that one? It helped define you as a person.
Yeah. You talk about the white truck?
It helped you understand
He's got Ohio plates.
what it's like to have
One of the
bad
farmers from around here, in a hurry.
versus not so good choices. And what we see going on today in
Oh, we got brake light out.
society, in media,
King Ranch.
in politics,
$80,000 pickup truck, and it's got a tail light out.
all around us, and not just a right or left, Republican or Democrat, however you want to put it, argument and discussion. But you can't ignore the political left versus right dynamics in the sense of who are your heroes, who you associate with, who you want to be, who are your influencers. And this is across the spectrum, not limited to a particular age group. It's not limited to baby boomers alone or older. It's not, you know, Gen X, Gen Y, millennials, Gen Z. It crosses the range. Because it's not as if each of those segments of the population only sees or responds in some way to a particular type of media. And part of that is due to the technology, the access, the social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, Truth, you name it, all the Rumble, Blue Sky, whatever it is, whatever, it doesn't matter, it's all out there. So it's all available. And while I will say that it's fair,
Morning,
in the
unindoctrinated.
sense that the younger generation is a big part of this focus, and it should be because they're often the ones who are easily influenced. It is a societal issue. Do we have today the creation of a George Floyd Part 2? I mean, think about this and go through the path. And there are lots of other names. And if you know them, let's hear the names that stand out to you at 866-95. Go back to
Whoa.
2012.
Larry.
Trayvon Martin.
I got a fucking parking ticket yesterday, believe it or not.
That to 2014, Michael Brown. Then keep going until you get to George Floyd. Right? I mean, look at all of this. Keep going.
Met my buddy for a couple beers after work at a different place downtown.
You have
Apparently, free parking doesn't start till 6 p.m. there. And I literally got there
staged,
at like
assassinated, a United
quarter after 5, not realizing it. And the tickets was written at 5:26. Actually, it was later. It was like 5. Literally, he waited for me to walk inside, and then went and wrote me the ticket. I should have just paid for it electronically for a half hour. Would have cost me 50 cents. Fucking tickets for $10. I didn't even notice the ticket on my windshield until I got home. I was like, what the hell is that under my... I thought it was some ad or something under my wiper. But God damn it, I got a parking ticket.
This bizarre video that's been released of the alleged again, as alleged, unfair about it.
Yeah, it's Toledo, it's at 6 now. It used to be 5. And they used to have a break between 11 and 1 for people to come downtown for food trucks and stuff. But they said they said they were losing too much revenue by doing that, so they removed the free time midday at lunchtime. So now nobody goes downtown at lunchtime. There's Democrat policies for you. Yeah, no kidding. Actually, my buddy warned me about him a couple of weeks ago. We were there, same place, right before the ball game. And it's, the parking's free on the weekend. On the street, anyway.
But it's true. Chris Van Hollen, and we played this for you.
He's like, yeah, he goes, they literally will give you a ticket at 5:55 if you park and leave your car. Well, I got one at 5:26, and I got there at 5:20.
So let's hear some of that audio. Here's Chris
Double check the time. Yeah, 5:26 it was written. Expired. Meter expired.
When he got to El Salvador.
I just landed at the airport in San Salvador a little while ago. I'm now en route to the city. Looking forward to meeting with the team from the American Embassy. And I do want to thank our foreign service officers and the whole team at this embassy and embassies around the world for all the good work they do on behalf
Breaking most laws he does, I think he equals freedom.
Foreign Service Caucus that stands up for men and women who are serving our country overseas and at home in the State Department. After that, I hope to meet some high-level government officials from El Salvador. As I've said before, the goal of my visit is to talk to people here about the release of Omar Rego Garcia and told his wife and his
Yeah, please send this MS-13 gang member back. I used taxpayer money to fly down to El Salvador, and nobody would talk to me. Typical Democrat.
When in your imagination, life, media, wherever you are, however you are there in the world today, did you think that a United States senator would travel to a foreign nation?
I believe that's a violation of the Logan Act.
Signal is never going to go anywhere to a foreign leader that you need to send your citizen, especially your criminal, back to the United States. Which, by the way, President Bukele had said would not happen. Matter of fact, in the White House with Donald Trump, he kind of laid it out clearly that, what's he going to do? Smuggle him back into the United States? Against his own sovereign interest and our sovereign interest as two nations? But of course,
I'm not well versed in it, though, so I don't know.
I'm not surprised. After all, they didn't
I've heard
have a
grumblings about it.
statue to George Floyd. They created a cult hero out of a criminal, circumstances included and aside. Who are the Democrats' heroes and who do they demagogue? And the support is there. But then as we continue to learn, in the case of Abrego Garcia, this is
Like Wolverine. Hey, did you see the
disturbing. Here's the Attorney General.
little expose? What's his name did on Wolvie from Michigan? It's actually pretty good. Lackluster. He did a little 30-minute catch up on all the activism that old Wolvie's doing. I used to be able to watch Wolvie, but he just, man, sometimes he just gets so obnoxious.
He was wearing a sweatshirt with gang insignia on it. The guy he was with,
MCC used to hang out with him all the time too.
member, had a tattoo with very similar insignia on it. ICE declared him as a member of MS-13. The police officers, the gang unit, declared him as a member of MS-13. And also, they independently went to a reliable, confidential informant who said not only is he a member of MS-13, he gave them the clique, the Westerns, and he was called a Chicao, which is one of the higher-ranking MS-13 members. So they rightfully detained him, rightfully. An immigration judge agreed. An appellate immigration judge agreed. Now here's where it gets even more frightening. In 2021, his girlfriend previously, his wife at the time when he had married
I like Lackluster. Let's talk about Wolvie though. Wolvie used to hang out with MCC and freaking media all the time, but they could only put up with so many days in a row with him.
It takes a lot for any woman to
Friggin' media's pretty much given up. Every time he starts a channel, YouTube shuts it down.
came into court
I told him he needs to be the
restraining order against him.
driving force on Rumble for that. There's not enough activism channels on Rumble.
He had ripped her clothes off.
Believe me, if I ever got fired, I'd go at it full time.
She talked about her child in the petition for an injunction.
Almost exclusively on Rumble. Here, we're running yellows here.
She did show
Woo-hoo.
support. That's your typical domestic violence victim. But this victim was even braver.
All right, we're gonna do a pass on the right since this dude's not getting over.
Members who was illegally
I'm not staying behind a tow truck or a dump truck.
Wow. Imagine that versus the virtue signaling and taxpayer-funded trip by Chris Van Hollen to go to El Salvador to get nowhere. I predicted that. Wasn't really that hard. Would not be in the interest of Nayib Bukele, the president, to allow a foreign national, a senator of the United States, to come and tell him what to do in his own country with one of his own country's criminal aliens who came to, or criminals who came to the United States illegally and was returned for whatever judicial process exists there or is necessary.
I'm a Dodge Sniper Fire.
Spartacus, who was going to do likewise, and other Democrats who stood there, wrote a letter to James Comer. We want a congressional delegation to go to El Salvador. And
Oh,
get
another
this
yellow light.
criminal
Just made it.
Who has alleged beat his wife. You know, he's just the Maryland man. And his wife is the ever-loving, faithful Judas. The police reports and the history, which are now apparently not to be believed at all after all. And the partners in this, are the media. We had Henderson Fields, who took on the media, played that for you yesterday. Here's another one from Tricia McLaughlin on this, quote, court showdown, which we now see is becoming more of an expose of the lies of the left.
But I think what really matters to Americans is that this MS-13
What's your evidence that he's in MS-13?
Well, there's actually been 2 separate immigration judges, Jay, who have confirmed and ruled that he is a member of MS-13. That as well as we have intelligence.
It was brought up in
They
deportation
sure did,
proceedings,
Jay.
but what's the evidence that was
And they
brought up in
dismissed
those deportation
and they
proceedings?
dismissed his appeal, Jay. I can do this all day, Jay. He is a member of MS-13. I don't think you'd want to be his neighbor, Jay. I sure wouldn't, and I don't think many Americans watching would want to be this individual's neighbor. He's been involved in human trafficking. He's been involved in labor trafficking, and he should not be in this country. So whether he's in an El Salvadorian jail or a U.S. detention facility, I am so very glad, as are millions of Americans, that he is off of U.S. streets. Because remember, Jay, who is MS-13? They maim, they rape, they kill Americans for sport, and the American people are done with it. They said so on November 5th, 2024.
Of course, that's on ABC. No matter which of the media outlets you go to, you find the new pop culture hero of the left and the demagoguery of anyone who dares to disagree with them. They will defend murderers, rapists, illegal aliens in any form, civil or criminal. They will lionize and build statues to not just the mediocre, but the worst among us. Or the media allies out there.
I don't know. It depends on what they have today.
NBC, CNN, News Nation.
I had a taco salad from there yesterday. It's pretty good.
They live in condos and apartments, wherever they may be. They are protected. They are
That kid, the guy that just came out, he works at Wendy's across the street.
public transportation.
He comes over here for breakfast. That should tell you something.
Their producers, their makeup and hair people likely do. But if something happens to them, they're the serfs. The serfs don't win.
Holy Thursday. All right, guys. I'm gonna try and run it again. We'll see how long it lasts.
President Trump pointed out,
I think I'll add in YouTube this time, but it doesn't really matter.
and this is our
I don't know whether it's our internet that causes it, and then, which is weird because on the mobile version, if I disconnect and then it reconnects,
those numbers.
it'll come back. But on the desktop version, it won't. So it doesn't make sense to me. We'll figure it out. Later, guys.